Well, it's a hot one today. Welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. I'm going to be pruning up my cherry trio. It has grown quite a bit. There are some broken branches I need to attend to and just kind of getting this back into shape. Oh, and by the way, I discovered some critters on here. Some little beetles that I didn't recognize, some mealybugs, and those little fuzzy leaf hoppers. I don't know how much damage they would do, but I sprayed it down with a mild solution of soapy water, and it seems to be looking fine. All right, looking at the front of this planting, this branch is broken. It's just hanging here. I'm gonna get rid of it. This is unfortunate because there's another broken branch around the back, and it's coming from the same tree. But I've got to get rid of it. And these broke because I let them get too long before doing this pruning. And who said that's how you know you have too many trees? That was a very smart man or woman. Little pruning stub here, but all right, I zoomed up on this area right here. If you can see, there's my pruning stub. I had chosen a branch that was coming down the bottom because I wanted this branch to cascade a little bit, and you can see that it has done that. I'm going to take it back to, this is the third leaf. It's facing in that direction, so maybe I'll get a little movement on it. And I'll take that pruning stub down a little bit more. I watched Ryan Neal in his last video, which was a Dawn Redwood tutorial, which was absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it. But the point I want to make now is it must be great to have two cameramen that you can say, hey, could you zoom up on this little area? All right, I trimmed that off there. I have an upward facing leaf, so I'm hoping for some movement in this direction. This branch is doing fine. I'm gonna prune it to here because I want something to grow up there in that direction. And I've got some overlapping from the tree next to it right here from any view. So I'm wondering if I want this branch at all. I think I do, but I'm going to take it back even further than I took it the first time and see what develops. Okay, now looking from the front. I like this sort of arbory thing that's happening here, but it's a little bit too much for right now. So I'm going to take it back to here and reduce that old pruning stub a little bit more. Really just keeping the first leaf from that extension. This is coming forward, which is good. So let me take the pruning stub down and cut it to a branch that faces on the outside there. All right, I might as well deal with, these are back branches. This one started to go up. Trimmed it to a back facing branch. So there's a part of it that goes down. So I'm going to prune it to there and hope that it kind of goes up. And I will prune this to here, basically just so those leaves do not compete with one another. Really doing a number on this middle tree. I didn't get much in the way of bifurcation, but a lot of changes in direction. Unfortunate. Prune that to there. This leaf faces up, so I should get a more straight extension, which is in line with all of these. I may do something about this. I'm going to cut it back to here. This is just crowding things, coming out from the same place. I can get closer on this old pruning stub. All right, so this is the back. So I'm going to prune it to here. This I'm going to prune to here. This is doubling back on itself. Maybe I can get something growing here if I prune this back to there. This maybe can give this some height. You know, I have a good bud down here. I'm going to prune this back. That opens that canopy up. You can really see into the branch structure there. And back to the front. I've got this crossing up here. This is a more out and upward facing leaf. Oh, is this broken? It is not broken, but it is weighing down heavily. I'm going to cut it back to there. Cut this back to here. Cut this back to there. Okay, concentrating on this side now. I would like this to continue to grow up in this direction. Trim that back. That was the middle tree. Prune this back to the first leaf. This is crossing here. I'm going to go down further with this one. Pruning stub. I'll take this leaf off and prune this to here. Prune that to there. I'm going to take this down to the first leaf, maybe get some movement that way. This is growing nicely, but a little too strong. Outward, downward facing, outward, downward, and upward facing there. I see a couple of leaves that have holes in them. I think I got all the critters. Check it out. Looks like one of those dream catchers. Double leaf here. I'm going to cut this back further. I'm going to cut this back further as well. A little crowded here. This is a case where it has bifurcated, but it's too crowded there. So I'm removing one of them. Now, I like the smaller initial leaves that we got on this tree are so much nicer than the large secondary leaves. Looks like the start of a branch. And I'm going to take this leaf off. Take a leaf off here. And I'm going to take a leaf off here and there. I'm just making sure all of the leaves are not shading out leaves below it. This one needs to come back even further. A really strong bud there. So that's got my cherry trio pruned up. Let's give it a 360. I'm trying to create some structure. I wonder if I should prune this in favor of that. See if anything else is concerning. I'm kind of looking for a rough umbrella canopy. Well, let's see what a third flush of leaves does on this tree. Really hot one today. This is the blueberry bush that I want to turn into a blueberry bonsai that I got from Home Depot. Yep, it's got some great bark on it down low. It's still in the nursery pot. I see no critters on it. I want to get it down to its initial branch structure while there's still some time in the growing season. I'm going to rest myself assured that the planting medium it's in is a good one, but I'm going to clean it up quite a bit. Is there a front? That's probably it. So this is going to be a big haircut. I hope there's some foliage on it when all is said and done. I'm just going to start out by taking it down. And giving it an overall look. Some broken branches here. Is that a good branch? And I'm going to clean out the center of the tree. All right, I'm sorry I forgot to hit record while I was hacking away at this, but there you have it. Here's a 360 of my blueberry tree, future bonsai. Just trying to make, you know, some design decisions early on. It's tough because there isn't much in the way of branch choice yet. The tree does some interesting things. I hope that this branch, now that it has nothing growing on it, it was pretty healthy, sends out some growth, because I don't want to lose this entire branch. Who knows? Might be the right idea. But let's see what the tree gives me. And let's get the other blueberry and get it hacked up.